Good morning, everybody. Super early over here. 6:20 in the morning, and I just woke up, got my coffee, figured I'd drop a podcast, go over the things going on in RBL this past week. Definitely been a crazy week. Just overnight, we lost Young. Uh, took a loss to another guy that he said was not that great. So very interesting that he continues to lose to guys that he doesn't think are very good or wasn't impressed with. But we got a new user in now. Seems like a nice guy. So glad we got rid of the guy that quit after the first month of the season. So that's very good news. So what I plan to do is go over the top 20 that I worked on last night. After that, try to look at this week's games. I know we haven't gone over the game of the week. Maybe we can predict that to see what JohnnyC got cooked up. And that's pretty much it. Does probably got to get everybody ready for school and everything. So it's probably not going to be all the time I have since we're going over the top 20. So let me pull up the top 20 list, and I'll start from the bottom and work our way up. If you didn't make the top 20, you know, that's a new goal for everyone to kind of reach, at least to try to get to the top 20. These are the guys that right now I feel like are true contenders for the playoffs. The other 12 are fringe and need to do a little bit more. There's maybe like two teams that I think still are playoff caliber, but for the most part, this top 20 I feel is going to be the playoff teams here. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with top 20. The 20th person, the person that decided to complain about superstar dev players and then gets one. Trick with the Dublin Shamrocks is 20. He has probably the most stacked defense in the league as far as the defensive line, by far. That did break out. He has, Micah Parsons, a young Von Miller, Chris Jones. Now he's got a superstar, Derek Stingley, who's already 87. Bobby Wagner's 100. So it's not the greatest team, but Caleb Farley too is on there. So I mean, really the front can control the game for him, and then he's got Malik Willis, and then he's got basically Dick Trickle, the new Tyreek Hill or Tyler Hill, the white Tyreek, and then he's got the tight end that I was looking at. So he had a tremendous draft. This guy's only a 63 overall, but he's going to be a stud once he develops him. But he's at 20 right now. I saw he lost last night to someone that's just above him by a few picks. But I think that him and the Titans and even Shango, if Shango can get it together, have a chance to win that division. It's going to be another year where they're probably going to be whoever can get 7 wins first is going to win the division. But he's definitely in it for the AFC South. Number 19 is the newest member to the league, the Packers. And after seeing him blow out Skunky, which Skunky's hit or miss, you never know which one you're going to get or how high he is, determines what the score will be. But he blew him out like 55-14 or something wild like that. And he's got an insane team. He's got Myles Garrett, Derrick Henry, DJ Moore, DeAndre Hopkins, Buckner. Like he's got basically a lot of guys he can go and win playoff games this year. And we did discuss it, when you do listen to this, if he wants to move Henry back to being 30 or 31 years old and have captains instead, we can do that. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I watched him, and you could definitely tell, even though he lost, I think the first game when he came in, you could tell that he had some like high level abilities. Like he definitely seems way more advanced than the guys in his division. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have him come just a few days later and grab the Eagles instead of the worst division in the league. But it is what it is. I would like to see him and Javi go at it. But he lost to Andrade, super close game. So you can kind of tell like he's at that level. And then I think, did he play? I think he played. Yeah, he played KK and destroyed him. But I think KK and Mr. Trubisky. So only Hobby loses to that. And then he destroyed Skunky. So he's got a bye week, and then he gets to play Baker. That's going to be a big test on next advance to see where he's really at. So, but I like that. I think he could definitely move up a lot higher than this. I just wanted to see one or two more games to see really gauge where he's at. Number 18 is going to be the Monarchs, aka the former Tokyo Condors before he got packed up out of there. He's been so hit or miss this year. Lost a super close game to Baker. That could have easily moved him up a lot higher. Had a super close game with Prung. They seem to generally have that. He did lose to Javi, and then he did beat B-Fort. So, lost to Andrade. So he's kind of had four of his 5 games are all playoff teams, and he's 1-3, but they were all kind of close games for the most part. So very interesting to see where he goes from here. He could definitely move up, but got a great start. Got a bye week this week. I think he's got still more tough games. Again, you win your division, you're gonna have some tough games. Rah, AJ, New Packers doesn't get a break until he faces his homie Omar. And then he's got Rich again after that. So, gonna be a tough road if Prunk, Don Antonio, or Packers can catch up. Which seems like I'm probably gonna be the Packers that runs away with it at this point, based on scheduling. It's gonna be tough because he's got a couple of games here, but nothing crazy. So definitely could be a Packers are right there. Even though he started out poor, he's gonna be right there. So interesting to see who wins that division. Moving off of that division, we have a new Chargers user. I slotted him at 17 because as I was working on it, he looked like crap versus Andrade, and now he's won his first 2 games against 2 teams that didn't win a game yet, and then he's lost to 3 playoff teams. Lost to the former Super Bowl champ, a former Super Bowl champ, and a former Super Bowl champ. So, though he lost 3, they were against 3 guys that are pretty good. So, I guess you can't say that he's that bad. But he comes up, and this weekend he's gonna have his rival Jay Stopper, and then he'll have KK probably with Mitch Trubisky again. Hopefully, he's able to do what Javi couldn't, and then he's gonna have Jay Stop again. So, very interesting week over in Los Angeles. But with Richardson and Saquon, we already know he's about to be a scramble and dump off to Richardson, maybe a bubble here or there. Not crazy offensive, but it is effective. And for lesser users, they struggle versus that. But he's going to have a couple of games here that'll struggle. But, I mean, he's about to play the guy that does the same thing with Jay Stopper. So Jay Stopper's defense is a little bit better, so he just has to hope that Jay Stopper makes mistakes. All right, so moving on from there, I have the Titans, who I played last night on Castle. Super close game, and in the first half, he had the lead, and then slowly started to pick away at it. But you can see like his defense with the speed that he has at corner, and I don't think he has the other guy unlocked, the other corner unlocked. But he's got like 2'6'3", 2'6'4" corners that are, I think one's Woolen, so he's 99 speed, and the other one's like 94 speed maybe. And they're both X Factor. That's very, very tough when you've got a man scheme like that. And I think he had 3 superstar dev front 4 guys as well. So tough defense. Stroud's almost there. He's a superstar dev, so he's almost there to get the abilities. I think he was 84 overall. So once he's able to get the other abilities, and I was talking to him last night, just staying in the pocket. He's got happy feet where he wants to scramble and run and roll out of the pocket. This year, you roll out of the pocket. If they have contained, it's an easy sack. So got to work on stepping up in the pocket and out, or just stay in the pocket because Stroud can deliver some dimes once he gets those dead eyes. But I think, honestly, he's the favorite to win the AFC South. He's already beaten Shamrocks. He lost a super close game to B4, blew the doors off of Shango, and then he beat Omar. So the games he lost were to me and B4, both really close, and then now he's got Prunk this week. So that'll be interesting to see how that game goes. But I think that he can definitely win the division. All right, 15 is the Commanders. This guy does have a dream team right now on offense, and even on defense, he's got a whole backfield of guys. Slider. When you got Mahomes, Cooper Kupp, and then he's got Amon-Ra, Mixon. He's got a star-studded offense. He just has to be consistent and pray to God that Mahomes doesn't get hurt again. He got a good win last night. Super close win against the New Eagles, so that's not going to be easy. He beat the Bengals. Unfortunately, he's out right now. And he did get smacked up by AJ and smacked up by Boomin. So we'll see how he goes going forward. He's got Cryo coming up, then me, then Javi, then Boomin, or no, Hendricks, then Map, Javi. That's going to be a tough road, you know. I don't know how many more wins he's got coming out of these next several weeks. But we'll see. We'll see where he does. He's got a great team, and we'll see if it can get him into the playoffs like I had predicted last year. All right, next up, 14, the Caps. And this is A-Bomb. And A-Bomb, unfortunately, he's played well versus everybody else, but he cannot get past Rah-Rah. And he got destroyed by Cryo. So he seems like he's going to be third in this division going forward. He beat HD. He beat the old Chiefs, who's now the Eagles. So he beat both of the Eagles, essentially. And then he beat Don Antonio. So 3 wins versus someone that hadn't won anything yet. And against 2 playoff teams, he lost both games. Did have a close game, though, with Rah-Rah, so if that means anything. But we'll see how he does. These next 3 games are against Map, Javi, and Bell. He could go maybe 2-1 here, or he could go 0-3. I'm not, you never know with A-Bomb. He plays so much that he runs the same stuff, so he has like the same reads, but he's so good at it. It's just a matter of if the defense can catch on to his plays. But he'll be in the playoff hunt, though, for sure. All right, the guy in front of him is Cryo, and he's the Saints. Now, we already know last year he got the yips, forgot how to play Madden, and just all of a sudden just lost it. But, once he got that X-Factor quarterback, Dan Marino, now he's back to being the Cryo that I had expected when I said that he would be 15-1 or whatever it was last year. But we learned that he needs the X-Factor quarterback and a loaded other roster to compete, it seems. But he's there now. The only loss he has is to J-Stopper, and it's mind-blowing to me for the 2 guys that are just alike. He lost to his doppelganger. But other than that, he's destroyed KK, destroyed the old Chargers guy, or the old Chiefs guy. He's now the Eagles. He beat Young, and then he beat A-Bomb. But then this week, which probably is going to be the game of the week, will be him versus Rah-Rah. If I had to guess, Rah-Rah's probably going to be a 10-point favorite at minimum, as Rah-Rah destroyed J-Stopper, one of their common opponents. And they both beat A-Bomb. If I had to guess, I would say that Rah-Rah would be the favorite right now. But I definitely think that Cryo could move up here. I wanted to see him play some of the other top competition, as right now he's either played... Actually, he's played all but... The only playoff team he's played so far is A-Bomb. So I'd like to see him beat someone else in the playoffs, and he doesn't really have that until he plays Andrani. He's Ra, Andrani, and Bell. Those are the only playoff teams he's got coming up. So could be easy peasy schedule for Cryo. All right, next up, the guy that beat him, Jay Stopper, the Dragons. Still not top 10. He hasn't been the top 10 since the beginning of last year when he had that cake schedule. I've heard so much about how tough his schedule was. He's had 1, 2, 3 playoff teams and lost to all 3. And only one of them was close. That was with AJ. He did beat Cryo, who's probably going to be a playoff team, so I guess we'll give him that. And then barely beat the Chiefs guy, who's not any good. So we'll see how it goes. He's got the new Chargers user, and he's got Bell in between. So I expect probably if the new Chargers user is any good or plays the way the old one did, he'll probably split, and then he'll probably lose to Bell again. Bell's smoking right now. But it does lighten up after that. He's got Trick, Bengals, Bills, but then he's got me, Hendricks, and A-Bomb back-to-back, so he could definitely go 0-3 right here. All right, after that, we got B Fort with the Desperados, who I've continually said is better than J-Stop, and he thought I was smoking crack then, but he's clearly been better than J-Stopper. And deserved to be in the top 10, though he's took some L's so far this year to where he's moved them out of the top 10. So he's lost to Skunky, which is mind-blowing. And then he lost to me and Bashi. Very interesting. Good player. Plays the same style every game, so you know what you're getting. If the EA wants to give him those runs, you're gonna be getting blown out. You can stack the box sometimes, and EA just decides you're gonna lose. Like your guys just don't react. But he does have a very good run scheme, and his defense is tough. Like having the 2 best D tackles in the game on the same team, unless you've got superstar dev offense, interior offense, like they just control that front. Like I like to step up in the pocket, and the entire time I'm stepping up, they're like throwing one of my guards. And his man coverage is really sticky, so it's a tough game for sure. And I think that if he gets in the playoffs, he could definitely win a couple of playoff games if things go well. And he's got to improve his quarterback a little bit. But good team. After that, number 10. Now that we've reached the top 10, I'm going to go with the guy that ended young. That is Andrani with the Seahawks. He's in a super tough division, definitely the toughest division in the league. And he has beaten, all the guys that I would expect him to beat. The only game he lost to was to Rich. I just think that Rich right now is clearly better than him. But obviously beating Bashi, HD, and I think it looks like he got the Forceman versus Mad, and then he beat Young. He's got AJ again, so we're going to see. Last year, I think that they had both their games were close. So I'm very interested to see their matchup this week to see how they stack up now. So let's see. Number 9 is going to be the Bulls. He's had a tough schedule, so I don't want to give him too much crap. He's clearly a top 10 user, but he's lost to Javi, me, and Bell. So lost to 2 of the top 4 players, and then he lost to Javi. And going forward, though, he's going to be able to get some wins. I don't see him losing to KK, Shamrocks, Bills, and then we'll see if Boomin's back or if he really is tanking. And week 9, that they normally have pretty close games, so I definitely could see this schedule flipping for Mike. So I've got him at 9. People are gonna hate on it, but he's had a tough road so far. Number 8 is Javi. Javi would be higher, but he decided to go and lose to Mitch Trubisky. You can't do it, man. You lose to Mitch Trubisky, you get knocked off the list. So he's still top 10, but he would have been a lot higher potentially if he had got that win, because he's already beaten Bashy, who was a playoff team. He beat Hendricks, who was a playoff team, and then he got a forced win versus me. So his only loss was a super, super close, high-scoring game to Baker, which would have been great if he just won that. But I don't see him losing the next couple games. He'll probably beat the Eagles twice. I think he'll probably beat A-Bomb. Him and Castle will be close. But yeah, then he's got Rah and Slider after that. So we'll see. But definitely good. Javi's been playing well. He just, once he starts getting cocky and front running, that's when I feel like he always loses. So it could start a losing streak knowing Javi, but my guess is he'll probably beat the Eagles. All right, after that, number 7 is the tanker himself, the new cryo. That's going to be booming. So far, he's lost to me, and then he had forced losses to Bell and King Hurricane. But the other games he played, he beat Slider and he beat the Bengals. Clearly, he's top 10. Just decided to start tanking. If the tank continues, then obviously I'm going to have to slide him out. Can't do it, you know. But he should be able to beat, obviously, Shango and Map. Him and Hendricks will be close, but he's definitely top 10. He's definitely I would say it's between me, him, and Bell for the AFC. So I got to have him in there. All right, number 6. I go through some NFC teams here. We got the Thunderbirds with Rich. Rich is great. He just can't stop Baker. Anybody that can run the ball, and Baker is good enough as well where he can pass. Like, Rich cannot figure out defense this year because defense is really tough this year. You have to have the devs to do anything on defense. And even then, EA can still decide you don't deserve to win. So it is what it is. So it's going to be interesting to see him going forward since he's already lost his 2 games to Baker. You know, he has ample opportunity to basically sweep the rest of his schedule. Though AJ's had his number in the past last year. I think he swept him. So, but I mean, Jets, Bears, and B4. B4 probably is going to give him trouble since he can't stop the run. So that'll be very interesting. That's a sleeper game of the week right there. And then after that, number 5, the guy that swept him will be the Rams with AJ. The only loss he had was to B4, which he should have easily won that game. I remember him doing some dumb stuff to basically lose that. But clearly, one of the top guys in the league right now. He's playing great ball. So I'm interested to see what he does the rest of the season. He's got, like I said, Hadrani, Vikings, and Monarchs. The next 3 games could be 3 easy wins, or it could be 3 battles or 3 L's, knowing AJ. Depends on which AJ we get. So we'll see. All right, that was our number 5. Number 4 is myself. Outside of, I guess I did play Hendricks and Boomin. But then I went B4. Okay, so I've had 3 playoff teams that I've won against. Titans was in the playoffs last year, so 4 in the AFC. And then, I'm not even going to count this. I cannot believe I decided to get a stomach virus and lose to Javi. And I couldn't even get more than 10 points, just absolutely murdering my stats. But Javi can keep that on his resume, I guess. My next 3 games are Chiefs, Maps, and Bengals. Don't really need to go over that. That should be 3 wins. And if it's not, I'll be very upset. But then after that, I do have 3 tough games with Slider, Rah, and Boomin. So schedule picks up from there. All right, number 3 is going to be the defending Super Bowl champ. Would be higher if he didn't decide to absolutely get demolished by Rah week 2. Maybe his cousin played for him, who knows. But other than that, he's won his other games. Hendricks' game was super close. Definitely pulled the plug, I think. And then he had a super close game with Young. I don't think him and J Stopper's games are ever close. I don't know what it is. They just don't match up well. But J Stop's still talking about last Madden. Maybe he'll catch him this week. But Bell's the serious contender in the AFC with Dak 99 overall, the rest of his weapons on offense, and how EA just lets Josh Jacobs just run over everybody. It's tough to stop unless you have enough defensive players to stop it, or he throws some dumb picks. But it's tough to do when you have Deadeye. Like, your passes are always perfect, so you literally have to make a bad read. All right, number 2 is Baker, Snowhawks, undefeated, and he beat Rich and twice, and beat Javi, beat Bash. 4 of his 5 wins are against playoff teams. Can't knock that. The game that I'm circling are the Week 7 and Week 8 coming up against the new Packers. He's got rah-rah. He'll definitely win Don Antonio. But those 2 games are going to be crucial to see, where he's at. He lost twice to rah-rah last year. Both were close games. Both were one-possession games. So we'll see. Rah-rah keeps adding to his defense. So it'll be interesting to see how they match up, and if Jordan Love can outduel Josh Allen, which Josh Allen's really not throwing, so he just has him, I guess, just for the playoffs. He's just such a runner. All right, and then number 1 is Rah-Rah himself. Called his shot. He's only lost once, and that was in the Super Bowl to Bell. Avenged that loss, but maybe he just came up short. But none of his games have been close other than Week 1. Blowout, and now he's got cryo. So it'll be interesting to see this game. Definitely going to be the game of the week if I had to guess. And if I had to look, who else could be game of the week? I've got another loser battle, Bengals and Sealy. I think that one should get played. Maybe Rams and Seahawks, but Johnny never likes picking himself. And then, of course, new Chargers guy and Jay Stops, a classic. Yeah. Maybe Eagles and Javi. Maybe give Javi 14 points or something like that to make it cover, make it interesting. That'd be interesting. There's a couple games here you could pick from. But that game, for sure, will be the game of the week, Bucks and Saints. So looking at the stats real quick, we can look over the top guys in the league. And then I'll head out. All right, top for passing. I did think he had an extra game, so we'll go by... Where's the average yards? Am I missing it? There we go, yards per game. So, clearly Justin Herbert is number 1. And then we've got Mahomes, Michael McKinley. Such a random, generic white guy, Michael McKinley. All right, that is Don Antonio, so impressive. Now, I do want to say something going forward, and I'll put in an announcement. We've got a couple of complaints. The 8 and 8 rule, we need to be able to, we're going to start enforcing that. If you're not meeting it, you will have a player suspended. Now, if it's reported, we'll obviously review the game. If it makes sense to why you had to throw or why you ran, say it was you're up by 3 scores and you could, by the time second half came, you weren't going to throw the ball except for maybe third down. Obviously we'll take that into play. It's not a hard set rule. I'm not one of those people. Everything in life lives in a shade of gray. But if you're just not running it, you run it twice, and you threw 40 times, I can't defend that. So we are going to start looking at that. It's something that Jay Stopper and someone else had asked for us to do going forward. So we are going to be starting enforcing that. I'm going to put that in the announcements as well today, so just so everyone's aware. But right now, the top 5 in yards is Trevor Lawrence, Dan Marino, who's the greatest quarterback ever to live, McKinley, Mahomes, and Herbert. I will say Mahomes and Herbert, they're very high in interceptions, so I can't really say that they're doing that great. And surprising, DTR, which I guess he only had one game, now he went back. But they're up there, though, so I'm pretty impressed with that. Touchdown-wise, top touchdown guys are Herbert, Mahomes, Lawrence, Marino, and Pickett. Omar, I think Omar played a game already, and then Bryce is right there. The damn forced loss. But some good throwers this year. Passing is very easy. Let's look at the worst throwers. Golly, 19 interceptions for Trey Lance, 18 for Kurt Morris, 16 from Willis, 15 for Brissett, and 14 for Levis. Good Lord. I don't know if all of those were all those on Hendricks? That's bad, man. If that was. I know he's not great, but, like, that's bad. All right, let's look at the top rushers. I think we already know who number one will be by a mile. Look at the attempt difference. Jeez. 145. So we got Izzy at number one. He's got 775 yards. Josh Jacobs is at 620. For a guy that doesn't run and claims he's not a runner, he's second. Keaton Mitchell's 3. Devontae Lowry. What does he look like? 93 speed. He's good. And then we've got Isaiah Pacheco at 5. And then the top touchdown guys, Lowry with 12. That's impressive. Mitchell 9, Swift 9, Izzy, and Jamal Williams. Very impressed. All right, receiving, the top reception guy is Amon-Ra, extra game. My guy Tyquan, A.J. Brown, 30 catches, 344. We gotta get that up, Prunk. Calvin Ridley and Kittle. No Eckler. Look at this. We've improved. The first running back doesn't come all the way down here. It's impressive. Yards, top 5. St. Brown, Ayuk, Kittle, J-Mo, and Thornton. Interesting group. Not the guys that you would expect to be top 5. All right, let's look at defensive sacks and interceptions. Chase Young leading the league with 7.5. Myles Garrett with 5.5. Hunter with 5.5. He's going to die soon, but I'll keep him until then. Jalen Phillips at 5, and then Wosu at 5. So no one crazy. Chase Young leading the league by a lot. Is he a superstar? Yeah. All right, well, Omar's got something going over there with Chase. And Myles Garrett's obviously a stud. Phillips, I don't know if he's a superstar. Oh, he's an X Factor. Okay. All right, that makes sense. Interceptions, kind of fluky, but we'll see. Diggs, Fuller, Jack Campbell, rah-rah, it's just killing. Good shit. Stingley and Kirby Joseph. So people just get down and just throw mad picks. He's got 3 guys with 5 picks. That's wild. He's definitely going to get even more upgrades coming. So people that complain, rah-rah's about to have a super, super stacked defense. But hey, he's earned it, man. He's been cooking with him. Oh, he's already X Factor. What's the other guy? Percy Butler. I think he's a fast safety. Oh, he's only normal dove. Yeah, 96 speed. Interesting. All right, guys. That's going to be it for right now. I got to head out, get the kids ready for school. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day and has a great weekend. And look forward to seeing some of y'all's games. Later, guys.